It's 2024 and Hypixel Skyblock is getting closer and closer to becoming 5 years old. Over those 5 years, in fact, nowadays the game would almost be unrecognisable from what it was like at the start. Nowadays you have so much choice. Whether it's anything combat related like dungeons or slayers or farming in the garden or fishing, even in lava. Constant changes and reworks have made the game what it is today. Having said that, not everything has been a success. When creating a new profile in Skyblock, you can choose from a classic profile and one of various special modes. Those special modes include Iron Man, where you can't use the auction house, you can't use the bazaar, you can't trade with other players, unless they're in your co-op. And then you also have Stranded, where similarly to Iron Man, you can't access the auction house, bazaar or trade with other players, but you also can't access public islands, making this profile much more similar and comparable to a regular Skyblock. Something a bit more conventional, where you literally just spawn in a block in the sky. And Hypixel Skyblock game mode is of course Skyblock, but nothing like an actual original Skyblock, with Hypixel Skyblock being considered a multiplayer RPG game. Now here's the thing, for Stranded to work, Hypixel had to make a lot of changes. For example, because you can't leave your private island and enter public islands, you have to place NPCs down to unlock the content. Additional drops were added to certain mobs. Wheat grows 10 times faster, Emerald Minion is a lot slower, and when you scroll through, honestly the list of changes that they've had to make to actually make this work is almost endless. Like, you can just scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. You get where this is going? Stranded was introduced in January 2022, making this game mode over 2 years old. I personally have never ventured into this game mode, and the only Stranded memory that I actually have was probably 30 Virus playing it back in the day. There's more. But before we go any further, if you are planning on purchasing anything from the Hypixel store, make sure to use code NITROS. It gets yourself 5% off. You should subscribe to the channel. If you watch the videos and you haven't subscribed, please make sure to do so. You should join the Discord server, it's linked in the description of this video. We offer slayers and dungeon carries, so if you need carries or want to carry and make some coins, make sure to join. Now, I made a video about my thoughts on Stranded quite a while ago now. I think it must have been over a year ago. And if we do take a look at Stranded's changelog, it is actually pretty substantial and long. It does seem like they are working on it pretty consistently. But here's the honest issue, nobody really cares. It's plain and simple, Stranded does not appeal to Hypixel Skyblock players. And sure, while Skyblock is in the name of Hypixel Skyblock, this is not Skyblock, let's be real. And sure, you spawn on a Skyblock at the start of your profile, but how much time do you actually spend on your private island? If Hypixel Skyblock's whole premise was just a regular Skyblock, then it wouldn't be popular because there's so many others like it. The reason why Hypixel Skyblock is so good and popular is because it's usually a quite well-rounded game that offers a lot, and not just boring Skyblock. Meaning realistically, Stranded was just kind of doomed to fail since it came out. Now of course the Stranded profile starts exactly the same as any other profile. Everybody hits this tree and everybody builds across to the other island that has your minion. But as you've built across, your instant instinct is to just jump straight into the portal that's straight ahead of you and go to the hub and start your Skyblock journey. However, this is the Skyblock journey on Stranded. Also, here's the thing. Starting a regular new profile on Hypixel Skyblock can be slow. Iron Man is a challenge, and if you've ever started a new Iron Man profile after maybe never playing Iron Man before, it can be a massive shock. Especially if you've already been playing on a relatively progressed profile. Because you have access to pretty much nothing, not even public islands, not only is progress ridiculously slow, you also just have way less items to actually obtain. And while sure, arrangements are made for certain mobs to drop certain things so you can still obtain certain items but not through the regular methods, Stranded just kind of isn't really appealing for anybody who already has a progressed profile. I feel like it'd be more appealing to somebody who is earlier game or a lot newer to the game in general. And because there's been such little talk about Stranded and hype around it because no one really plays it, and when I say no one, of course there will still be people who play it, and props to them because I genuinely just don't have the patience. But I'd bet that there's a lot of new players that don't even know what Stranded is. And it's understandable that massive portions of the game are simply not accessible. There's only so much you can do from private islands. But this is just a huge factor that contributes towards Stranded being kind of dead. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't really know if there's anything that they can do to actually make it so people want to play it. Unless there was something similar to Bingo, whereby there's items that you can only obtain on Stranded and you can transfer to a classic profile. That would incentivize people to play Stranded, and would honestly actually be a really cool concept. I asked my Discord server, do you play Stranded, and if you don't play it, why do you not play it? And these were the responses that I got. The first answer we got was, it takes too long to get items, and I guess that could be true. I mean, I guess that's how it's meant to be. But yeah. No, because Iron Man sounds bad, and Stranded is worse, and I only play 2 hours a week, so I can barely play on normal, let alone Stranded. That's fair enough. I guess it is very time consuming to actually make any real progress. Downtime, I guess that is just their thoughts summed up. I did on its release, but very quickly realised that being confined to one single island becomes stale after a while, and yeah, I guess that is just true, it just is. I tried to get into it, but found it's boring and unclear what I was doing, so I ended up giving up pretty soon after I started. Yeah, I feel that. I don't, because it never gets updates, they leave it to die. There are so many features that Stranded cannot access, it's crazy. And that's true. It's interesting because you say it never gets updates, but on the changelog there is constantly updates. But they're not actually updates. They're just fixing bugs, basically. And I guess just fixing massive plot holes in Stranded itself. You might be tasked to do a certain thing, but not actually be possible to do it, because the item that you need to do so is not obtainable. So of course Hypixel then have to find a way to implement that into the game. I already have depression playing normal Skyblock, let alone Stranded, which would make me go insane. Yeah, that's fair enough. I can feel that. Yeah. Yeah. Just yeah. I started, but it takes like 100 times the time to make progression. And I guess, to be honest, that probably sums it up pretty well. Now, here's the thing. In the past 5 minutes, I'd probably say I've had about 50 responses, and not one person has said that they actually play Stranded. And to be honest, I personally don't even know one person that plays Stranded. And I think it just boils down to the actual game mode just not being appealing to people who play Hypixel Skyblock. I came to a very similar conclusion about a year ago when I made a similar video to this, but I thought there might have been some advancements. But when you think about it, what can they really do? The consensus is that people have either just never played it and never touched it at all, or they played it when it first came out and realised that it's probably not something that they're going to enjoy. It's a shame because regardless of what you actually believe, it is essentially just a cut down version of Skyblock. There's obviously been some thought put into this and some effort to develop it, and it's just a shame that it's not really worked out. But if I was Hypixel at this point, I'd probably just cut the losses and stop trying to fix or update it, if I'm being honest. Let me know what your thoughts on Stranded are in the comments. Honestly, to make it playable, I think they really need to give purpose to it. Anyway, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.